You guys are not going to believe what this Terra Luna whistleblower just said about the overall project. Make sure to like the video, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and of course pick up a free stock with the first link down in the description below at public.com. But other than that, let's get right into this video. Alrighty everybody, we have a lot to cover as far as new information coming out about Terra Luna, Do Kwon, and a host of other issues. Plus we have some good news as well. As you can see, Terra Luna Classic is up 2.52% on the day today, which is absolutely beautiful. We love to see a good green day, especially like this. Look at this chart right here, right? If we look 624 at about 3 a.m., massive pop towards the upside here, all the way up to 40596. Then we dropped down a little bit and started to stabilize around this area, and now we've been kind of trading in that area ever since. If we go into the kind of deeper understanding on trading view, and we can even pull back to the 1 month chart just so you have a better idea of what's been going on, a lot of stagnation, a lot of stabilization, but of course we haven't seen massive moves in price towards the upside yet. But we'll get into where that could be going in the later part of this video. As you can see, this was the thing that I was looking at right there. If we do a little bit of technical analysis here in the next coming days, we could be seeing a potential bull flag being formed right here. As you can see, again, it's a very, very big bull flag. If we were to break out towards the upside here, we could see some potential gains towards the upside even further. However, please remember that pattern fails are very, very common right now in this market, because if you look at the big cryptocurrency projects that really control the overall market, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, those coins have been all over the place recently, right? Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin dipped to $19,000 literally just a couple of days ago, and even lower than that to $17,000 at one point. We know Ethereum also has dropped pretty significantly as well. These are massive cryptos, and they control a lot of the overall market's price action, and when they move, other coins tend to move as well, and they typically tend to follow them as well. However, one of the things we've seen with LUNC is that it actually holds up very, very well despite overall market conditions and being in the bear market that we're seemingly in. Again, let me know in the comments below, do you think we're in a bear market? I would love to know your guys' overall thoughts and opinions about that in general. But let's get into the whistleblower. Let's get into Fat Man. We all know who Fat Man is, and if you don't, this is basically a former Terra research employee or developer, and he, over the last month and a half now, has been giving out a ton of information about Terra Luna and stuff that was going on behind the scenes that we were not aware of until recently. He has been giving scathing remarks about this project and about the actual owner, Do Kwon, or really founder, I should say, and of course everyone behind closed doors as well. We're gonna get into this. We're gonna read this. I'm gonna get my takes on it. Please remember, guys, though, that just because I'm reading these, negative issues about Terra Luna doesn't mean that my opinion has changed in any kind of way. I still like the project. I still think it has a lot of potential going forward, but it's important to read and be aware of what's going on in the overall universe of Terra Luna, and of course what else is also happening there. But let's start here. So he says rich and powerful people love mainstream media interviews since it gives them the ability to shift the narrative without backlash, open discussion, or corrections. Do Kwon is attempting to convince the world that he is a frugal goody two-shoes, and he says, let's debunk this claim. He goes on to say Do Kwon comes from a elite Korean family, one of the special golden children. He went to an esteemed English language school, studied in Stanford, and came from a rich family. But despite all of this, he was never extravagant or flashy in his teenage years. He was somewhat of a hoarder. He enjoyed coming up with schemes to make money using his manipulation and coding chops. A few $100,000 here, $1 million there, but he wasn't a big spender. Things changed when of course got off the ground and his ambitions approached new highs. Other than the fame and the wealth, something else changed in Do's life. He found love. Do Kwon got married to a lovely lady, but she wanted more of a luxurious life. I speculate that their marriage and the opulent Grand Hyatt of Seoul factored heavily into this new disposition. And then here is a photo, I guess, of them as well. Now, they also say things took off and UST's adoption exploded. Luna rose in a meteoric fashion, and so did Do Kwon's personal wealth. His recent tweets indicate he does not care about the money, implying his frugality, but this isn't the whole truth. And we know, of course, those tweets are deleted. However, one of the more common and popular kind of statements Do Kwon has been seeming to push forward in recent interviews, and just in general what he talks about, he doesn't care about the money. He cares more about, the project and everything. He said I'm very frugal. I don't live above my means. And it seems Fat Man is about to debunk this and talk a little bit deeper. He says, in reality, the reason money didn't matter too much is because he had already enriched himself so much that 100 million did not make a difference to his wealth. This message was in response to a user asking questions around why Doe was cashing out hundreds of millions UST. As people from the old Terra community are well aware, critics were more often harshly shut down. They were called poor, dumb, and even stupid by Do Kwon himself and others. And the perceived multi-billionaire demigod status gave him all-encompassing immunity in the eyes of the lunatics. And again, there's more evidence of this, right? Talking about the potential money or the alleged money that was being pulled out of UST and a host of other things. It's basically just at, this is a Beverly Hills of Singapore. This is potentially where he, owned a home, a host of other things. And again, guys, one of the things you have to do is take all of this with a grain of salt. We know Fat Man Terra could potentially have been, or could have, in some kind of capacity been a part of Terra's research and what they were doing, but we don't know 100% for sure whether or not, if this is a real, developer or researcher, right? And again, we can go back and do some fact checking and everything, and I'm sure that, he has significant ties to the overall project. But again, it's important to realize that a lot of this stuff is speculation. A lot of this is alleged. Some of the stuff he is saying is 100% true. He did call people, idiots, and he did call people poor and all this stuff. And again, just because I am saying that this is all alleged doesn't mean that I necessarily agree with him. I do agree with a lot of stuff that Fat Man does say, because I think that, again, he's right. The executives didn't take ownership. They didn't take accountability. And that's the reason why we're in the mess that we're in right now. Either way, guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. In my opinion, as Fat Man continues to make more and more posts like this, it doesn't really help the price, but, also it doesn't really decrease the price of Terra Luna or really any of the other Luna assets in general. The only thing that's really going to fix those in the long term are, continued burns, as well, of course, as continued updates made to the project like they always have been. Either way, guys, hit the like button and the subscribe button if you haven't already. But other than that, that's all I have for you guys today. I'm Kyle with Finance. Oh, take it easy.